Credit first and foremost for winning. We obviously got to do some things better, and we'll work on that.
Chris, you were riding pretty high Thursday night, big win on the road, and now you take 2 losses, teams near the bottom of the Big Ten standings, and I know those teams present matchup challenges, but what is this team searching for right now that it hasn't been able to come up with these last 2?
Yeah, I think bottom line, we have to defend way better than what we're defending right now. You know, it comes back to that. We've got to be way more connected on the defensive end, and then I thought we really pressed offensively once we got down a little bit. So. We had some unique lineups in there, obviously, and we pressed too much.
What was the status with Kyle, and what happened with Seth?
Yeah, Kyle's with Seth.
Yeah, okay, he left the bench and didn't come back after the little scuffle.
Oh, I have no idea. I mean, Kyle's was out with an illness, so he continues to be evaluated in the back.
Coach, could you feel the absence of Kyle Young and Zed Key, especially in that second half, and how might that have impacted the way the game went there?
Yeah, I mean, obviously those guys are 2 really important guys for us, 2 important guys in our front line. So I don't want to minimize them being out, but at the same time, we had enough to play better than what we did.
Chris, it seemed like you maybe were getting a little bit of momentum defensively at Michigan against Minnesota. You played really big games there, and then for whatever reason, just didn't seem to carry forward. Like, I guess from your perspective, what has kept this team from taking the next steps it needs to take defensively to put itself in the position it needs to be at this time of the season?
I mean, I think some of it's buy-in, some of it's a collective better effort on that end. Some of it is we're really struggling guarding the ball right now individually, and our team defense isn't covering up for that enough. Certainly defense and rebounding have been significant issues for us, and if we don't get those cleaned up, then we'll continue to see the kind of results we've seen here these last 2 games.
I know you pay attention to trends like this. Teams that defend the way you guys are defending just don't accomplish much at this level. Like, is there a level you think this group can get to before you kind of run out of time to do so?
Yeah, there's very few teams that defend the way we defend right now, and really even advance in the NCAA tournament. So that's the reality, and those numbers, we've talked about those numbers as a group. That's the reality, and obviously we got to get healthy. That's a big component. We got to get healthy and stay healthy, but we don't defend and rebound. We'll be terminal.
Coach, I think a lot of people were wondering why no Michi, only 2 minutes for the game, no Michi early on until the very end of the first half. Just wondering the factors into that decision there.
Yeah, no, we just decided to go with Jimmy in a little bit more of a rotation as the backup point guard.
Chris, you talked about wanting these games for your guys, but now that they're here, you're in the middle of this tough stretch. Is this the right thing to do for guys? I mean, guys are getting hurt. Is this right for guys in college to play this many games in this period?
Yeah, it's a fair question, but I wouldn't put it on. It's a fair question. I think it is, but I wouldn't necessarily put it on the compressed schedule. Why guys got hurt? I think we just had obviously some unique situations with those guys. With Zed's ankle, with Kyle. So. It's a fair question, but I wouldn't want to put it on that right now.
Given some of the stuff Kyle's developed over the last 2 years, that's kind of allowed him to do some of that. But then also what he gives you defensively, where was he missed more than that?
Zed or Kyle?
Kyle.
I just think his energy. I think he connects us on both ends. We've seen it when he's been absent. I think we've all noticed his absence. He gets a ton of loose balls, but more than that, he makes the right play. He doesn't pull shots away from guys. He allows our better players to thrive offensively because he shares the ball at a really high level. So he connects us on the offensive end, and he's a willing defender. And he provides some leadership. He's quiet, but he provides leadership, and we needed that tonight. And, I feel really bad for the kid. I feel really bad for our older guys because he's been such a big part of our collective leadership. So hopefully he'll get back here sooner rather than later.
And obviously, Zed was already missing, and Kyle plays 8 minutes, and now you're kind of scrambling to figure
Yeah.
out. Joey played, you had Harrison out there at one point.
Yeah.
One, are you kind of confident that you'll get both of those guys back between now and next week when the tournament starts? And if not, how does that drastically change how you approach things?
Well, I mean, I think on Thursday, I think I'm still waiting to see what the status will be for both those guys on Thursday. And Zed's been doing a lot of rehab. So, listen, I think as I've said before, this is the worst season of injuries I've ever had, and I thought last year was bad, and this has been now worse with some of our season-ending injuries. But again, we have to correct what we can correct, and the bottom line is we're not connected enough on either end right now, and we did not play together enough on either end. We just did not, and that's my fault.
Hey, Coach, we heard from Jamari and Justin. They're obviously upset after a game like this. Back-to-back losses like this. Mentally, are you concerned about your team's confidence as you guys are getting ready for the biggest game of the year here?
I think we'll see. I mean, I think confidence is a pretty tenuous thing, and it wasn't too long ago where we performed well here. We're obviously really struggling right now. That's no secret. We'll see if this group has the ability to find a way to gain a little trust in each other and confidence. I think we've got a really good group. We've got really good guys. I think we're searching a little bit, and I think we're pressing too much right now, certainly on the offensive end.
Chris, you talk about defense and rebounding, and a lot of that is energy and effort. It seemed like early against Maryland and then at times tonight that the energy level was a little low. When you look forward and kind of spin this ahead to these next two games, you guys have played such a compacted schedule. How do you make sure that the energy level stays where it needs to be to try to fix those defensive and rebounding issues when you know how much these guys have put on their legs in the last few weeks?
Yeah, I mean, play your hardest playing guys and your guys that are your most connected group. I think that's what we're trying to do right now, and play your hardest playing guys. So that's what we're looking for.
And then you're a big day-to-day guy. You don't like to look at a lot of big picture in the moment. In a vacuum, these are just two losses. Obviously, they're back-to-back, but how do you try to, again, spin this forward and just think of it as, you're not going to miss the NCAA tournament. You still have a chance to play the Big Ten tournament and make some noise over in Indianapolis. Like, how do you spin that and make sure?
I think it goes back to to Bill's question. I think that the greater issue is our lack of ability to stop people right now, and our lack of just connection on the defensive and offensive end. So, and again, it's my fault. So we don't have that right now. We do not have that right now. And it's not like we've got an unbelievably, across the board defensive group, but we can play way more connected than what we are on both ends. And that's the biggest thing in front of me right now. It's not, it's not looking towards this game or that game or the Big Ten tournament or the NCAA tournament. The facts are the facts, and the facts are we're not guarding people right now, and it's bled into our offense, and we didn't play together offensively. We pressed too much offensively tonight. So until we fix those things, we're going to have some of the same results, and that's the only thing in front of us right now. The schedule will come. These are disappointing losses. Put them on me. I'm sure that'll be the case anyway. So, bottom line is, I think we have to find a way to be better in those areas.
One more here with Patrick and one more with Adam.
Well, when you are pointing to these things, but you don't have the practice time you might normally
Yeah.
have, I mean, is it something you've just got to get through and have
Yeah.
a few days before the Big Ten tournament, or how do you approach?
Well,
fixing?
I mean, we've not practiced much. We did not practice yesterday. We did a walkthrough, and I think you are evaluating. Were all those the right decisions? We did the same thing before Indiana, but we've certainly had some habits slip. We've had some serious slippage in some of our defensive habits. Could that be a lack of practice time? Likely, but I'm not sure if practicing is the right plan right now given our schedule.
When it's this time of the season and you're asking some of those questions and wondering how you fix some of these issues, I know seasons present new challenges as they go on, but what kind of confidence do you have that these are issues that can be fixed at this point of the season? With defense has kind of been an issue all year, rebounding has kind of been an issue all year. What gives you the confidence that you have the guys that you can figure it out at this point?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I've got a great group. I believe in our group. I believe in our team. I believe in our ability to improve and get better and respond to difficult moments. But we've got to demonstrate that we can be better in those areas.